What up, everybody? What's going on? What's going down? What's happening? Once again, you're tuned in to Loyal African Minds presents the rhymes and the rhythm of the Metu Netter. I'm Taki in the house. We had our host, Mr. Lewis, representing in the building. The Ansubu is here, of course. And tonight's subject, y'all, is about queens. So tonight's subject, hope you got your pen and pad because you're gonna need to take notes tonight. Tonight's subject is the queen's role in leadership. The queen's role in leadership. So we're gonna bring that at y'all tonight. Thank everybody for tuning in. It's been a rough week. We almost at the end of it, y'all. But I tell you, these shows are getting more and more filled with so much information. Definitely, you want to tune in and be a part of Low African Minds by going to lowafricanminds.com and registering as a member and participate in our forums there. You know, we got a forum going on. We got a few forums going on, and we need your input. So definitely you want to go down to lowafricanminds.com and register as a member. It's free. So what you got to lose? We're trying to connect out here. We're trying to make worldwide African unity a reality, y'all, and it's on. It's in progress right now, y'all. Worldwide African unity, and we're doing it at lowafricanminds.com. That being said, y'all, definitely hit us up. We're putting these shows on YouTube as well, at our Connected Minds YouTube channel. For those of you that can't plug in on Facebook, I don't see why there should be a reason you can't tune in on our website as well. You can actually plug directly into our shows on the website at lowafricanminds.com, and you can get into, you can watch the Zoom on there. So yeah, you don't have an excuse now. We making it possible for this connection to happen. We're making it possible for worldwide African unity to happen if we work towards it and do it. We just need to connect, y'all. And the place to connect, I'll say it one more time, lowerafricanminds.com. Did I say it slow enough for y'all? Let me say it slower. loyalafricanminds.com. That being said, I'm going to bring you straight to our host for the night, Mr. Lewis. He is in the building. Y'all know him. He's been out here in the Sacktown streets, making it happen, doing his thing. Definitely a hustler in his blood. Mr. Lewis, go ahead and enlighten us, King.
Yo, what's good with the village out there, man? You know, we finna tap in real quick with the with you know, the queens and their positioning. So I have the queen here herself, Angela.
Hey, Angela.
Hi, how are you?
This is my lady. You know, she's raising all my young ones. You know, she here, she got me, and we holding it down. But yeah, definitely. So yeah, you know, the position of the queens. We asking you, what's the position of the queens? What's the position? What's the position of the queens?
Just making sure that we take care of the household when the king is not in the environment, making sure that, you know, we take care of ourselves because we have a lot of tasks that we're doing other than just ourselves by, you know, raising the little ones. What else? Like gardening, cooking, all that type of things. And then on top of that, worrying about ourselves as well. So, yeah, just making sure that the king is good even when he's outside the household too. You know, so I'm trying to think what else. Oh, just, you know, teaching our tribe, our little ones about, like, you know, respect, self-respect, respect to others, to their elders, teaching them value and like skills, life skills, economics and things like that too. So
Definitely.
those are just a couple of key points.
Definitely. So I think definitely we can learn a lot from nature on that as well. Because, you know, in nature, when you give a species the title of a queen, I mean, you can look at from ants to the bees, etc. The queen is taken care of. And without the queen, the whole colony dies. So definitely queens are important. I see another guest in the room, Ansubu. Can you introduce our guest I just seen pop on?
You know, it's King Atlanta and Subu. We up here. We finna do this for real. The frequency is high, right? And I just got to go back when he said, do we need to say it slow? Loyal African mind. And your name, your queen name is Angela. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I heard you when you came in. I was trying to start the watch party. So we got Queen Angela, and I'm trying to tell you, they heard you say what you say, and they want to duplicate you because you said you know your position is to support the king and to make sure that the household is running smooth so the brother can get out there and do what he needs to do. And I know the Hebrews and the Christian and the Muslim, but they really love you because they want a woman to take care of the household. But we also talking about the queens that's going to be out front and that's going to stand up for something. And we have the one and only A+. We got A+ Weed. She's been on the front line. I'm going to let her introduce herself. I lost my nephew, Willie. I lost my cousin, Yamai, and she lost her brother, Mario. So she's been on the front line, and she's still on the front line. And she was paying attention to when we were talking to Hakeem Brown and other things that was going on. But tonight we go focus on what is the queen's duty? What is the queen? Who is she in the revolution? Who is she in liberation? Who is she in activism? Who is she inside civil rights? Who is she in the house? You know, we need to know because it's one thing to give a queen a crown, but when a queen has a throne, she has power and authority. Let's get into it. A+, please let us know who you are and give us a little history.
Hi, well, my name is A+, like you mentioned. My brother, Mario Romero, was murdered in Vallejo, California. I'm an activist, and I've always pretty much stood up for people, but having my loved one murdered by police, it brought me to the forefront to pay more attention to what's going on in my city, right? And so, so who I am, I'm a person who stands up for what's right, right? So I stand up for what's right, and I fight for people who oftentimes unknowingly know that they have been wronged, right? So I like to focus on being frank when it comes to exposing the truths. So I expose a lot of truths.
Loyal African mind is the right place to be frank. Hey. Or Jeff, or Tom, or whoever.
So, oftentimes I think I can offend people when I'm pretty much spitting information that I have learned, because I feel that it's much more important to educate yourself before you speak than to just ramble on, right? So I have people that have a problem with things that I say when it comes to how things are run or things that have happened. And I'd like to mention that I'm not only fighting for my brother Mario Romero, I'm fighting for my other brother Malik Mitchell, who was murdered in Vallejo as well. So
Can I throw my brother in there also? Matt Hicks, murdered in Vallejo. That case is still not been solved. So Matt Hicks, rest in peace, my brother.
yes. So so when I come from two different standpoints when it comes to fighting, when it comes to being on the front line and fighting. I feel like my family has suffered so much pain and heartache, and not only pain and heartache, but intimidation when it comes to standing up. And so when you sit and you think about what it is that you stand for, or what it is that you will die for, sometimes when you reach a certain point in life, you don't know what it is that you would die for. And so oftentimes you don't know until you have to make that decision for what it is that you're fighting for. And so as a person that has had my loved one murdered by police, being vocal and being able to articulate the details of what happened to my brother, I've been targeted on many levels. And so for one, being a black woman, when you're a black woman and you stand up, when you stand up against racism and discrimination, oftentimes you get ridiculed by other people, and you may have never experienced racism until you have come out and spoke spoke in opposition to what's going on in your community, or things that you have seen that's absurd. So I'm one of those people who I have lost so much fighting for justice. When you think about how my brother was killed, and the trauma that we've had to endure, you gotta realize how America is fetishizing on the pain of the black woman, right? So we stand up. We're standing up because hey, we are always the ones who we have everybody's back. So people always assume that we're the ones who always supposed to stand up. And so when it comes down to being on the front line and calling out injustice, it's not an easy task. And I don't take it lightly, and I don't play games when it comes to calling out people for who they are. So when I was on last night and I was viewing the show, I was calling out a lot of stuff that I seen that was out of pocket, and because that's just who I am. And so I understand people have the need to play the victim, but when you're calling things how you see it, it is what it is. And so, I have people that may think that I don't like them, and hey, this is business. It's business. We have goals that we want to achieve. We're looking for justice, and and if we care about our people, we want to make sure that we're not leading them down a dark hole. And so that's pretty much where I am when it comes to educating myself and educating my family and my people on on decisions to make as a whole community. And it's not nothing personal where people want to, make their public misdeeds into a personal matter. When it comes to business, we got to be able to trust, somebody. And so if you're not giving us nothing to trust, then, we're going to call you out for what it is that you're doing, because at the end of the day.
Let me help the people out. So that was in reference that we had, a lot of things going on surrounding her brother and Matt Hicks and Nehemiah and Chettaman and many others. And so that's what got her into the activism. And we had Hakeem Brown on last night, and some statements need to be clarified. And she was in the audience, bringing a knowledge from her investigation and what she know about that format last night. I'm gonna bring her on, and we're gonna do a political thing because we do need justice, and we're going to have a show surrounding justice. And I appreciate you bringing us up to date what your stance is, and how you get down, and because we need people of your caliber. Tonight, what you said is correct. The issue that we mentioned tonight is the queens, the empress, the goddesses, the sisters, right? That a lot of them, I guess they went from bad bitches, or they went from being somebody's girlfriend, to now they got crowns and queens. What is their position in the revolution? What is their position in liberation? What is their position in civil rights and social rights? What's their position in the House? What is their position in this activism? Here we are, 2020. A lawyer of minds be speaking about worldwide community. We got some people saying we're all humans, but we're trying to identify because the sisters cannot hit the background no more. You know, in ancient Kemet, we had them right there at our sides. And I want to know from you, Queen A Plus, what in 2020 is the position of this goddess, of this sister, of this queen? And you know, what is her position inside our movement, inside our struggle? Where we at in 2020? What's your take on the sisters? And all sisters ain't stepping up, and all brothers ain't stepping up. But for the ones who are,
But I noticed, and I'll tell you this: when it comes down to the front line, you notice that you always find us on the front line. You know, you'll always find us on the front line. You know, I think that, you know, we're expected to be there. But it's a deep love that we have for our people that causes us to make sure that we are protectors, right? So we are protectors, but you know, we also get the short end of the stick as well, you know. And so when it comes down to being on the front line, you know, fighting and you know, trying to make sure that all of these injustices, you know, don't continue to happen, we suffer the brunt of things for being on the front line. So when it comes to being loyal and it comes to, you know, fighting for what you believe is right, you know, we stand on that front line uncompromised.
I really appreciate that. Let's go over to Mr. Lewis and his queen. Sister, you gotta forgive me. Do you remember my name, sister? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. You had help. You had help. So
Hey, that's a team effort, right? That's teamwork, right?
Okay, so I'm King and Super Bowl. Can you tell me your name and tell the audience your name one more time?
Angela.
D'Angela or Angela?
No, Angela.
Okay, so Queen Angela.
Yes.
What is the position of the queen inside the revolution, inside the liberation, inside civil rights, social rights? Where we at in 2020? All sisters are not on the front line. All sisters ain't at home. And I notice a lot of them leaving from boss bitches or being a girlfriend or just a wife. They're putting crowns on their head. But what is that position?
Do they even know what that is?
Right.
Well, we couldn't be kings. We couldn't be kings if we went for the queens. But we need to define what it is that queens should be doing. Because in Christianity and Islam and in Hebrewism and in Hinduism, the woman got to take the background. But in New Africa, or in Low African minds, in Kemet, in Nubia, in Pan-African, we need that sister not just to be a warrior. We need her to be a high priestess. We need her to be a teacher. We need her to be a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist, a soldier, you know. But I'm asking Angela, in your terminology.
Just pretty much just standing your ground, being grounded regardless on what circumstances are given to us, you know, because remember, us women, we have a lot of roles that we're taking in the household and even outside the household. So, and being on, you know, like social media just in general. So it's just pretty much just standing your ground, you know, and just respecting ourselves in any type of situation that we're in too. My, my opinion.
I like how
And
you
that,
said you
and
play
that's
a
a good
lot
one.
of
I
roles.
got one. What you say,
Um,
brother?
I said I like that she mentioned they play a lot of roles, and
Me too.
I like to kind of use the analogy of chess. You know, chess. The queen got all the moves. She got all the moves. She can make any more moves than anybody else on the board. And it's funny because I look at some of the things that like my queen does is, she can do so many things that I just be like in awe, like, wow. So I've actually, from her making her moves, I've actually learned how to make my moves because I realized my point, I can just, I provide, I bring the substance and she take that substance and multiply it and do so many different things with it. Like, I can go buy the chicken, but it's the wife that takes that chicken, marinades it, seasons it up, chops it up, cooks it, makes it all, something for the whole family to enjoy. I can go buy the house or whatever, but she can take that house and turn it into a home. So and when I relate that to the chessboard, it's like she does that to protect the king. And we know that the ideal of the game is when the king is gone, when they take the king, it's game over. So I believe that we both need to know our positions in that because a lot of brothers take that and be like, "Oh, you supposed to serve me? I'm the king. Protect me." When the king go down, it's game over. Well, brother, the point of the king is to provide a kingdom for that queen to be fighting for and to be doing all these things for. So are you providing that kingdom that's going to be, for your kids and your kids? That's what you're building. You're building that kingdom. That's why she protects you, King. So I think I definitely like how you said you got so many roles, and we have a few roles as men, but I think all in the whole I guess picture, we both need to realize where we are on that game board and what position we playing. So go and Sue, I probably cut your wisdom, but go ahead with that.
Hey, that needed to be heard, right? And I seen both the queens got a big smile, like, the brothers get it. The brothers get it, And we know some of our people out there still trying to be Mac Daddy, but the ones of us who are, with the crowns and understand that just because you're a king doesn't mean you have a kingdom. And just because a king is supposed to provide a kingdom doesn't mean he has to build it by himself. We need that queen to pick up the hammer. She needs to know some flooring and some scaffolding too. This is the United States of America. This is a global economy, and they're trying to put a global order down, and we have to combat that. See, prophecy goes this way. These white folks, these crackers, these white folks can rule the whole world, and we can say we all human and we love everybody, and somebody got to be the president of that, right? Somebody has to be the president. And these sisters can say we all women and women want power, but some woman has to be the figure of that woman. And the white girl got you saying we all women in power, and she's the head of that. And then the white man talking about we all human, and he's the figurehead of that. So when Jerusalem or London or Washington D.C. deceived the world and they put their power all over the world because we went into we all human or we all men or we all women. So this is posing my next question. Is the black women's struggle the same struggle as the rest of the women of earth? And I'm going to go with I'm going to go with A plus first.
I don't believe that the black woman's struggle is the same as every other woman's struggle. You can't begin to compare the two when it comes to the black woman's struggle. So when you think about the black woman's struggle, you have to understand certain things, what it comes, what it takes to be a black woman. So when it comes to being hated just for the way that you look, when you have people that hate you before you open your mouth, or hate you when they see you a mile away before they even get to know who you are, you can't begin to compare the struggle of the black woman with anyone else. So you got the black woman who doesn't have the ability to be a chameleon and change into whatever group of people she sees fit, you know. And so when it comes to us, you have people that they love everything about us, our attributes. They love, you know, our hair, our style, our lips, you know,
I
all
salute
of
you.
that, but they hate us personally, you know. And so, you know, when it comes to being a black woman, you see that America enjoys to watch the black woman's struggle, to watch the black woman's pain. So, you know, they love everything about the black woman except for her, you know. So they want everything about the black woman except for who she is as a person. And so when it comes down to being a black woman and having to having to, you know, work in corporate or, you know, work in society, you know, it's certain things that we deal with, a lot of discrimination and a lot of things. So when it comes down to it, we have to oftentimes know 10 times more just to get halfway to a certain point. So when it comes down to the struggle of us, no, I can't say that everyone's pain is the same as us, because not only are we hated for who we are hated for who we create, and oftentimes we are hated by those who look like us. So no, I cannot say that anybody can compare the pain and the struggle that it is that we deal with.
Okay, Sister Angela. Um, uh, the same question to you. Um, we got the narrative. We all human. We all bleed the same blood. Women power. Men need to know their place, and it's time for women to take over. And sometimes that leads into, with the white woman, she's the figurehead. Whether you're a lesbian, whether you're a wife, whether you're single, and in this evolution, I mean, I'm gonna put this to you like this, Angela, because I know A plus said something very powerful, and I felt it. It ran through my bones. When they came and got us out of Africa, they didn't get the black woman, they didn't get the black man, they didn't get the black child. They got black people. So with that being said, is is the black woman's struggle equivalent to the rest of women's struggle, or is the black woman in a league of her own? Angela, please give us some insight on how you feel, what you think, and what you know
I definitely,
about the black woman. The
yeah,
black woman.
I definitely agree with A plus. Like that definitely resonated. Like that's what she said was definitely powerful, because I totally agree with everything that she said. Yeah, we definitely don't struggle the same. It's completely different. Like she had mentioned, we have to do 10 times more than any other race out there, whether if you're, you know, you're Asian, you're Mexican, you're white. We definitely have to go up and beyond just for us to be some type of, you know, accepted in the work environment, at the stores. They expect more from us, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're always, not that we're in competition with anybody, but they're in competition with us. Like we're taken as a natural threat regardless, you know, but from the way that we look, from the way that we act, from the way that we dress, from the things that we do, you know what I'm saying? So it's more so like, it's okay for them to do it, but if we happen to do it, we get looked at like we need to know our place, if that makes sense. So
that makes perfect sense.
yeah, so definitely, yeah, we don't struggle the same. It's completely different. So even if they happen to say that we all technically struggle the same, I don't think any other race other than our own can actually fully understand the whole concept of the whole struggle.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, right? This is what the master craftsmen and the sorority and fraternities. This is what the underground Catholics and the Gnostic Christians and the Masons and Freemasons, the Shriners and the Eastern Star. This is what the white people know about the black woman that the black woman don't know about herself.
Right.
This is what the Greek and Roman woman knows. And I'm finna give it to you, right? Besides you having a nice ass and some nice titties and hips, because all sisters don't. Besides you having that nappy kinky hair or that straight flowing weavy hair or that silky curly hair, which all sisters don't, because y'all come in all shapes, different colors and sizes. But if you know anything about colonization, if you know anything about slavery from North America, South America to the Caribbean, in Europe, even in Asia, even in Arabia, especially on the African continent, they have always muzzled the black woman's mouth because she is the goddess of the universe. What she speaks out of her mouth comes into existence because she's the only creature that can bleed, and the blood goes out of her body and the same amount remains. It doesn't go down. She's the only creature that has the womb that opens up with the umbilical cord and the placenta, and the baby can suckle from her dark melanated nipples and get nutrients, not pus. The rest of them get their kids or their animals pus. She is the only one who's called, right, the Homo sapien. She's the only one who is connected to the God factor. And with that, she's the most educated woman on earth, the African American woman, meaning indoctrinated. Because if she ever starts speaking outside of Hollywood, outside of hip hop, outside of give me a job, outside of that we're all humans, if she ever speak Pan-Africanism, if she ever start telling her children to be a general, to be a scientist, to be a true living Nubian soul and stop being black, because black is be like and white is what height. That means they sit high and we supposed to lack. Oh, if that goddess, if that empress, if that queen ever discovered the power of her words, mechanically the brothers will carry it out. And that's the truth, and that's the secret of all secret society. Since you talk to the child in your stomach, you talk to your seeds, and as you talk to a man and love on a man, this is something you don't know. Vibratorial frequencies to the ether in the astral self will shake the chemicals in our scrotum and produce semen that has energized power. If you love on your man right, you will produce a new nation. And so the fear is that that black woman might come into her righteous mind. And she might stop saying we all humans. She might say she is a goddess. She might say she's a true living Nubian soul. And then she might look out for her children instead of for all children. And so with that knowledge, I have to ask both of you queens. But I'm going to start off with Mr. Lewis and Taiki. So y'all hold the question. Do we fight and beg for white people to treat us equal and give us justice? Or do we be prepared to build our own nation? The woman is going to be the final answer. But I want to start off with Mr. Lewis and go to Taiki, and then we'll go to Angela, and then we'll go to A+. Do y'all remember the question? Do we fight for equality inside global white supremacy, racism, injustice, or do we prepare ourselves to go and build our own nation? Starting with you, Mr. Lewis.
I definitely feel like we should not be fighting for justice and fighting for those types of things. I definitely feel like we, not that we shouldn't be fighting for it, but it's like I feel like the fight is at home first. You know what I mean? Like the fight, like we were speaking on, starts with the woman having the baby, raising the baby right, giving the baby the right milk, giving the baby the right nourishment, raising the baby to be strong and have their head on their shoulders so that they can go into the world and accomplish things. Getting the baby and the young ones to understand what we're building. As we're all continuing to support our foundation and our empires. I definitely feel like if we put more energy into building what we have been building, instead of using so much power and people power, you know, to go out to march or to do all these other things, if we use all that power to say, you know what, we're not finna go ask these people for nothing. We're not finna go down here and tell them what they're doing to us and we need y'all to stop doing this. If we just say, you know what, we're not going to take our people and go down there. We're going to take our people back to our neighborhoods and we're going to build and we're going to grow and we're going to talk. We're going to try to build a community and we're going to start saying, okay, well, look, they're not doing this for us. We've been asking for this for years. We've been saying this. We've been saying that. So look, we just have to get with our own, prepare ourselves, like you're saying, prepare ourselves and you know, go to war with that. That's just what I believe, you know.
Well, you said the word war. I just said be prepared to lead and create our own. And, you know, I don't think we have enough weaponry, chemically, biologically. I don't think we have the firepower of satellites, communication, water, food, and they manufacture all types of weapons that we don't even know about. They have trillions of dollars invested in their machinery. I'm not saying because we don't pump, but we have to move strategically. We don't hold that thought about the war.
Yeah. I don't mean go to war like we're going to prepare for war, but I mean just the war that we take on a daily. You know what I mean? Just
okay.
like just I definitely know we ain't ready for no war. You know what I mean? We not ready. I feel like we not ready to go march out in the streets with the police if we ain't got no guns. You know what I mean? Like it don't make no sense for us to go push up on the police and we're not ready for that. You know what I mean? So I feel like we still gotta continue to get things ready and prepared in the household.
And I'm gonna pass it to Tyke. And I love what you said, Mr. Lewis, because it got us all thinking, right? What I did not hear, right, is we breaking away, starting our own.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna help you out also. It was a trick question I asked, right? Because we can never stop having these motherfuckers on trial, right? We might not get justice, but we can't put these motherfuckers on trial. And with that saying, I don't think we should be asking these motherfuckers for justice because they don't know how to do it, injustice. But we can tell them who we want to face trial. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we don't ask our people for justice when somebody in the hood kill one of us. We don't go, hey, can y'all go tell your people, your family members to discipline your family members? We kill each other.
But we need to do that. And so whoever killed Mario, they need to be on trial. Whoever killed Nehemiah needs to be on trial. See, they need to be on trial. We know the system can't give us no justice because it's a system of injustice.
Right.
We, as the people, can tell the prosecutor, the attorney general, the city attorney, all right, who we want to be put on trial. We don't gotta burn it down, but we can boycott this motherfucker down.
Right.
But that's me going a little deep, and I love you, brother. But let me get Tyke intake. Do we keep fighting for justice and equality in this system, or do we prepare ourselves to create our own system?
I think, in the words of Brother Malcolm, we've been hoodwinked, we've been bamboozled into believing this equality thing and this integration thing. And I think that was never supposed to really even been on our agenda. What you need? I gave it back to you. Yes, I did. It was in your tablet. Check it out. Fatherhood. Anyways, so I think, you know, because we have so many examples. We got Allenstown, we got Rosewood, we got Black Wall Street. We got so many examples of us doing for ourselves that equality, I think that was the trick. That was the trick, to be equal with this person. And when you really get in your African mind and you think, oh, I want to be equal with this guy. So now I'm watching it. Oh, I need to act like this. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do like he's doing because now I'm equal to him. And that's why we doing all this crazy retarded stuff that's not African, because it was never meant for us to be integrated and equal with these people. If we had our own our worldwide African unity, we really wouldn't have to worry about the police thing, because we would be like, you know, we got our thing over here. Our people is cool. Everybody know everybody. Everybody cool with everybody. You know what I'm saying? If they not cool, they ain't jumping off acting like y'all act. We started acting like that a lot of from being integrated with them and thinking, okay, so now that I'm equal, oh, I gotta wear my tie like this. I gotta talk like this and shake hands and how you doing? And we got all whitewashed in how we do things. You know, we was talking, I think we was talking with Brother Sabir earlier today, and we was talking about the idea of competition and how we get into competition. And I think competition is a white idea, because we're all made as many creators. So my creation is nowhere near your creation. So there is no competition. You create what you create, I create what I create, and God made it that way so everything can harmonize. I can't make honey like a bee. That's why God made the bee to make honey. So I'm not in competition with the bee. We grab that mindset by being around them and thinking, oh, I'm the house Negro, so I'm better than the field Negro. No, that's competition. Both of y'all is brothers. And if y'all understood, y'all would be working together to get away from these people. Don't nobody even want to be in Masa's house. You just want to be in Masa's house because they brainwashed you to believe in, oh yeah, Masa's house is better. Oh, I talk the King's English, and I get to dress in better clothes, and I get clean fingernails. Brother, that's not what it's about. It's about us being our original selves and having our own stuff. So yeah, I think we shouldn't be thinking about equality, because why? Why do we did fine without them before they came and invaded our lands. Everywhere they go, they cause destruction, stress, depression. They pillage the towns, they take stuff, they steal. We don't need to be equal with that. Why would we even want to be equal with that? So I think that integration and fighting for to desegregate, man, I believe that was the trick. I believe that was the trick that sold us out, because if you really look at the facts and the statistics, a lot of that civil rights stuff was just the trickery so they can have things. You know, we got stuff like welfare and all that. It's more of them on that than us. But they tricked us into believing it's all for us. So you can have your equality by being on the welfare system, and we'll design this civil rights stuff for your people. No, that was all a trick from them. Uh-oh. You cutting my lights off now? So yeah, long story short, yeah, I don't think fighting for equality is what we should be fighting for. We should be looking to do our own stuff. We did it so many times, so many examples of when we did do our own thing, that we know we got it. And then they copy it, steal it, and all that, and try to claim it as theirs. But we better off just creating our own and doing for self.
So let me salute the Queen A+, and invite her into the conversation. And I'm gonna pump the frequency up to a higher elevation, because the Queen is so good and prolific at her speech. I like her technique. And so, same question, but I'm gonna frame it a little different. After 400 years of servitude in fighting for equality and justice, and we raising a new generation, and they raising a new generation of global white supremacist racism, with the intention to be all lives matter, blue lives matter, black lives matter. Wherever we do, they have got so scientifically involved in our emotionalism that they'll take over anything that we start. Instead of shutting us down, they'll jump themselves in it, and they'll be on the bullhorn. And next thing you know, here we is trying to put the police on trial, and then they'll tell us they'll be facing the city. And all we wanted was those people to be held accountable for their actions, for taking our loved ones from us. So after 400 years of servitude in this country and fighting for justice and equality, begging to work in somebody else's corporation, praying that we get a scholarship or some type of grant to go to a school, are to be recognized as an equal employee in somebody's corporation, uh, I'm just gonna straight up ask you, what do you think our next move should be for the next decade? Do we build our own, or do we believe that the good white folks and the good Mexicans and Filipino is somehow gonna stand with us and do what? I mean, what should be the focus?
So I personally feel that self-preservation comes first, right? So self-preservation comes first, and way, while we may have ideas of where we want to build things on our own, we still have to worry about being able to sustain, be realistic. Realistically, let's be realistic when it comes to the things that we want, right? So I feel like we have to make sure that we are educated enough to make informed decisions, whereas we have had the short end of when it comes to um, justice, the reality, life, whatever, right? So we know now that we're informed and we know that it was not meant for us to succeed, it was not meant for us to have justice. What we do is we we self-preservation comes first. So we build ourselves up. We make sure that we are equipped with the knowledge that we need, because you got to understand that this system was built on certain rules, and if you don't know the rules, then you don't know how to play the game, right? So yes, while we may march in the streets and we may call attention and call for justice and want officers who have murdered our loved ones to be held accountable, right? We also have to make sure that we are working on legislation, that we are in there to ensure that these laws are put in place to ensure that we can have these people held accountable. So when it comes to uh, building something of our own, moving away, we got to be realistic. Self-preservation comes first, but you have to understand that the system was created to ensure that we didn't have quality of life, right? So as long as we're on edge and don't have quality of life, then we can never prosper, right? So as long as we are making sure that we are educated to understand the playbook that was put in motion to ensure that we never succeeded, long as we make sure that we understand these rules and these laws that took place, that were put in place to make sure that we stayed at the bottom of the rung, then we can understand how to change that. So yes, okay, we could talk about building something for ourselves, but let's talk about what we're doing now, because we don't get to sit back and say, okay, well, there's nothing we can do about it. We're going to sit on our hands and say, okay, there's nothing we can do. The system was created to ensure that we fail. Yes, we know that. We are aware of that. We are equipped with the knowledge to understand that. But one thing we're not going to do is sit on our asses and throw our hands up because we are fighters. We don't give up. And so, and you got to understand that's that hopeless mentality that many people before us had. And so when you come to us this day right now, we're, people may see us, protesting on the forefront, but they don't understand what we are doing behind the doors. They don't understand, the laws that we have been educated on, or what we're trying to change or we're trying to implement. So I just don't feel like, we have an option of giving up and sitting on our hands, or changing the focus, because oftentimes people want to change the focus. There's no way you can compare a black on black crime to a police officer murdering your loved one, because at the end of the day, when that person that murdered your loved one gets caught, they will be charged to the fullest extent of the law, but the police officer gets to go home to his wife. So we got to be sure that we don't cloud them lines when it comes to what we want, and that we don't shift the focus on a sworn officer that's supposedly sworn to protect the community, and try to put somebody like you and me and hold them to a higher standard than that officer that gets paid to murder your loved one.
And so we heard Mr. Lewis take. We got a chance to hear Taiki tape, and we heard the Queen A plus tape. And we heard Angela's take. Um, Let King Angelani and Subu give you his take right now. I don't give a fuck about none of them. Put them on trial, you know. And we have to be the justice that we seek. The Injustice Department does not give us justice. So, like A Plus said, we have to figure out what laws is on the books. See, ignorance of the law is no excuse. So we got to crack some books open. If you don't like to read, get out the way. We need some readers. And this is what they do. When you work for the congressman, or you work for the city council, or if you work for the state assembly, they have young people called interns, and they come and they find case points and files, and they put it together, and then they present it in the courtroom, or they present it before a legislative body. Now, so there's no elected official is going to do the work that we got to do. Okay, we have to elect ourselves to do this work. This is a grassroots movement and struggle. And the system cannot give us justice. But like I said, I lost my cousin Nehemiah. I lost my nephew Willie. I lost Cheddar Man. We lost Mario and many others. And so we have to ask the state general attorney to open the files up and prosecute these villains. We have to ask the county DAs to open the files up and prosecute these rascals. We have to ask the city attorney to open the files up and to allow the people to make a decision who they want to go to trial by a jury of their peers. And we have to, my key component question was, do we prepare? And that was my key word, prepare to create our own system. Because with Donald J. Trump, this motherfucker is crumbling. With Obama, this system is crumbling. With George Bush, this system is crumbling. With Bill Clinton, this system is crumbling. They've been stealing. They've been the trillions of dollars that they can't find. They've been giving money to the banking system, to the insurance company, to the auto company. So they're preparing. They're preparing when it's our turn for reparation to have a system that's broken. And if we don't see the writing on the wall, if we want, what profits the children of God to spend 400 years building Satan's kingdom, right? And to inherit that kingdom when they can just turn around and build their own. And that's where we at. And the word prepare. Africa has invited us over. We got 1 billion people in North, Central, and South America. We have 3 billion Africans on earth. Afro-Asians, Afro-Latino, Afro-Hispanic, Afro-American, Afro-Canadians. And we're talking about linking up. We're talking about, you got the European Union. In Asia, you got they call the Southeast Asian Economic Network. India has a treaty that they're creating with the Indo nations around it. And so the world is being split off into sectors. Africa has the African Union. So please go to our webpage, join the African Union, come in and join Love Command, because we are a Pan-Africanist organization. We are a soul tribe. And I have to make the disclaimer. We are non-Black identity extremists, and we're anti-Black identity extremists. However, we do believe in the right to protect our environment and to protect our community. And under the Second Amendment, we honor the Second Amendment right to defend our property and our family. But that being said, this has been a real great speaking engagement. And to make it on a lighter note, the goddess Mo, Angela, where's your goddess Mo shirt at? Come on, we gotta sell some shirts now, okay? So since we lighten the atmosphere up, I have one last question. Starting with A+. Are you there, Queen?
I'm here.
What can we do, and how do people contact you, or what do they need to do to get involved so we can put these people on trial who murdered your brother, who murdered the people in our city, and what can they do? Because that has to be answered. It's not going to get swept under the rug. I don't know nothing about defunding the police. I believe that we need to open the books and make sure that that money that the city brings in as revenue is diversified, that different projects get some money besides the police department. But my main interest is that these murderers, they need to stand by jury their peers, They need to be on trial. Uh, but what and how can people do to join you in your cause?
So before you can contact me, I'm on Facebook, of course. You can contact me on Facebook, A Plus Weaves. You can contact me through Justice for Mario Romero, and also Families United Against Police Brutality. Any one of those platforms, you can contact me on any one of those, and people will send a message to me. When it comes down to the cause that I am fighting for, before you decide you want to stand with me, I ask that you question yourself and question the people, your family members, and because we have a secrecy going on when it comes to the city of Vallejo. We have people that are sitting on their hands, and so when it comes down to it, we're having marches, and we're exposing a lot of wrongdoing that's going on in the city of Vallejo. So now it's very important that we hold our people accountable when it comes to certain things as well. So when we are blindly supporting people that are hindering our growth, we have to make sure that we're not doing that. So when we see things that are out of pocket and people are out of line who are doing things that is counterproductive to our growth, we must call that out. And so and that's in politics, and that's in church and all as well. So I have noticed that there's a large church silence when it comes to justice for our loved ones in Vallejo, and it's kind of a blatant disrespect when it comes to the failure to stand up. And it's not just the black church, it's all of the churches when it comes down to fighting for justice for us, our loved ones in Vallejo. So I ask people to take a moment and ask their people, because at the end of the day, our loved ones being murdered it's a silent thing that people want to push to the side and act like it never happened. So when we have a march, there'll be a church march and say, stop the violence, and basically they're telling the black people to stop the violence instead of standing up and telling the police to stop killing us. And so I think that it's very important that we hold our people accountable for what it is that they're not doing. That's one, first and foremost. Two, we have lawyers that come to the city that are in on these civil trials, and that's fine and dandy, but at the end of the day, you have lawyers that went to school, that are educated, that passed the bar, that are making a killing off of these cases too, and we must make note of that, because these lawyers are in a position to hold these city officials accountable. But at the end of the day, you have to pay attention that a lot of them don't want to stop that revenue, right? So we have to call that out, how we see it, because at the end of the day, our loved ones get killed, and you have people say, oh, well, they're just going to have a lawsuit, and I tell people, look, I've never been a party of a lawsuit. I never gave a fuck about no money, because at the end of the day, you can't bring my brother back. Right? So when I tell people that I don't care about money, I wasn't a party to any lawsuit, and because I would never have a judge tell me that I can't speak up and tell my brother's story and let the world know that he was murdered by Sean Kinney and Dustin Joseph of the Vallejo Police Department. So that's number two. So we must hold people accountable. We must call people out for the lies that they are telling and the wool that they're attempting to pull over the people's eyes. So it doesn't matter if they look like us or not. We must call it out as we see it, because if we want to progress, we have to make sure that we are making informed and educated decisions in getting justice and getting, when it comes to equality and bettering our quality of life. So if we refuse to do that, if we turn a blind eye and act like we don't see what's going on, if we turn a blind eye and act like we don't see people who are making this in a position to vote and make a decision that can affect us and improve the quality of our lives. And if they're making decisions that is counterproductive to us, we must call that out as we see it. We can't just blindly go down a hole with somebody just because of who they say they are. Or we can't have, if you got somebody that loves you and cares about you, then then they should be able to pull you to the side and say, hey, simmer down, simmer down. Take a moment, simmer down, listen to what the people are saying. Don't take a tone of arrogance, you know. And so, you know, as long as we blindly support what's going on, because I'm going to tell you this, you know, people say, hey, you know, vote because they're black. We had a black mayor already. My brother got killed under that mayor, and he didn't do shit either. So what I'm saying is we must hold our people accountable, you know. And that same black mayor told us not to tell the public that they were not drug testing the police officers. So, you know, you got to think about certain things when you want to support somebody. You want to make sure that they are being willing to be held accountable and not just trying to get
Hey,
in. So
I have an ideal, and we know people say I don't mean to cut your wisdom. I really do mean to cut your wisdom at this moment. Let's get a petition, right, from the citizens of Solano County, especially the citizens of Vallejo, and let's run a petition and put an incentive or a measure on that all police officers must be tested on a regular, right? Let that be one of the conditions to work and get some money out of the city of Vallejo. And we, the people, can do it. We don't got to ask city council. We don't have to ask the board of supervisors or the state assembly.
This was an original contract. And so when I speak on drug testing and I speak on decisions made to slyly remove that out of the contract. Okay, so most of our loved ones were killed under this contract where these police officers were supposed to be drug tested and they were not being held accountable. But at the end of the day, those officials that refused to drug test these officers and refused to go along with the conditions of the contract, they are just as guilty as the officers that murdered our loved ones.
So you hear that, people? We have a situation. What happened yesterday? We have A plus, and many of us are holding these people accountable. But what we want to do today, we need thinkers and we need writers, we need people who know the law. We want to put into law that it's mandatory that if you're going to receive some money from the city of Vallejo, especially the VPD, we want you drug tested on the regular, with no exceptions, with no excuse. We want to know what type of pharmaceutical drugs, and we also want to know kind of street drugs that may or may not be in your body. Because you want us to believe that your uniform is something special, but we know that you was a boy or a girl and you grew up and somebody said you graduated the academy and you put the uniform on. It didn't give you no superpowers, right? You still are subject to human error. We know under global white supremacy racism, they say the boys in blue and police powers, and they try to make you like Superman or Batman. But we know that you just a regular person in a uniform, and sometimes y'all need psychological help also. And we want to make sure that you're not abusing drugs, because the city is paying a lot of y'all a lot of money. We got people on the street homeless, and we got people with real drug problems who can't even get any help. Because all the city revenue is going to the people who wear uniforms. And we don't want a city to be about, we got to fight crime. We want a city about that, hey, we got to have a healthy society. And so with that said, me and you and some others who want to be a part of this, since it was a mandatory thing once, we got to write the paperwork, and we got to figure out a way. How do we bypass the council? And once enough signatures, and it's supposed to be a way inside civics that regardless of what the council or the supervisors or the assembly say, if it's the will of the people, it has to go. It has to happen. And if it doesn't happen, we can boycott the city. You know, we can go ahead and boycott the city and let the city know we'll shut all your revenue down if you ain't gonna do the will of the people. We don't want you doing the will of the police officers or the firemen or the city council. We elected and we hire people to do the will of the people in the city. Now, at one time, to be black was to be uninformed, but to be a true living Nubian soul, you must know. And I'm telling each one of y'all gotta pick up some books, right? And if the frequency of the music and smoking all that weed and drinking alcohol, if that ain't doing you no good, we have to change our diet. We gotta change what the fuck we think about and where the fuck we going. Because just like we got this baby in this picture, they already got that baby targeted for a prison, for a school to prison pipeline, or to go on somebody's service, or to beg somebody for a corporate American job, are yet set to see his father dead or his mama dead or to see him dead. So we got this baby in the picture with us to let you know it ain't about the black woman and it ain't about the black man. It's about the black family. And so we need to really move together as one. And for any other groups, I don't like the word minority. I don't like to say people of color. Any lesser melanated people, that's what I'm gonna say, right? Take it how you want to. Any lesser melanated people who understands, right, that people and city officials are accountable to the consciousness of the people. And if the city of Vallejo people don't have a consciousness, they don't have nothing to answer to. So we thank FAM, we thank even Black Lives Matter with their fake agenda, and we thank, you said families, what was the word you said? Families what?
Families, are you talking to me?
Yes, you ma'am.
Families United against police brutality.
Okay, it's Families United Against Police Brutality, Lord have command, and whoever's out there. If a city doesn't have a conscience, it cannot vote consciously. If a city has not a conscience, it cannot control the purse of a city. With that, I'm going to go to our beautiful family here, Mr. Lewis. What is the baby's name, sir?
This Legacy.
Legacy. So that brings it all in. Okay. I want to say, you motherfuckers, what's going to be our legacy? But I'm not. I'm going to say, true Nubian soul, brothers and sisters, what's going to be our legacy? Are we going to be sitting where letting Bill Clinton and go to John Lewis funeral and insult one of our great leaders who was in the Pan-African struggle? Are we going to let the crazy man Donald Trump keep on saying weird shit and act like we don't hear it? Are we going to let Obama tell us that we ain't black if we don't vote for Joe Biden? Are we going to let this pedophile Joe Biden tell us that we need to elect him? Are we going to let Hakeem Brown, right, say he's running for mayor on up in that platform, right, and not ask us what do we want? And any other politician, right? Sometimes we give you the opportunity to tell us what you go do, and then we're at a stage we need to tell you what we want. And we want those officers put on trial, and we want people tested that work for the city. Just like when you're on parole or probation, you have to get tested. Well, when you work for city government, you should be tested, right? Because you have to be accountable to the city, and no one is above the law of the people. And I'm going to give it to Mr. Lewis. What is on your mind about all these brothers and sisters that has been shot by the police? And I'm going to go back to this right here. The sister said, we can't switch and bait the conversation with black on black crime versus police shooting. They do not equalize out.
Right.
I have seen the police killers, but I am an advocate because I started a mob. I started a gang, right? I sold drugs. I used drugs. I grew up in a neighborhood where we thought being revolutionary was pimping, selling dope, right? Extorting, shooting dice, and doing all the vices. And we didn't have no accountability on how many people we got to kill or didn't get killed, right? We went to war with other cities, we went to war with other blocks, and we started this craziness because the parents before us, they had fist fights, and the other parents before them, they came from the South, and they grew food in their backyard, and they had chickens. So we know the story that we didn't start off being violent amongst each other, right? We know that's part of the COINTEL operation, and we do have to hold ourselves accountable. That has nothing to do with putting these police on trial. But
Right.
at the same time, we got to hold ourselves accountable because we have to build some kind of structure. If we go get people to go on trial, if we are going to change our legacy, if we are going to have a heritage, somewhere in this fight, in this struggle, we're going to have to be real kings and queens, emperor and empress, high priest and high priestess. We're going to have to be called by the very creator. Whether you say Yahweh, Allah, Amin-Ra, I say Amin-Ra. We're going to have to be a righteous people. I'm not talking about be righteous to other people, but we're going to at least have to be righteous to one another. And with that said, I want to hear you speak about the accountability that the community had to step up and make sure that the police in all these cities get put on trial, right, for killing our loved ones. And also, I want you to finish out with the plea to our brothers and sisters. We got to be more righteous and more loving to one another.
Definitely, definitely. I definitely feel like no disrespect to what she has going on. I didn't mean any disrespect if I came off that way. I definitely do feel like, yes, we do need to hold the police accountable. We do need to, like you're saying, get the knowledge about the politics side of knowing the game. Say that again.
Get the knowledge about legislation, and we got to use it.
Yes. We got to get the knowledge on legislation. I feel like we have the knowledge already. I feel like there's been plenty of the cases that we've been dealing with. It's like we've been dealing with these cases. We've been dealing with what we've been dealing with for a long time, and I feel like there should be somebody out there who has the information already, who should be in place to help out when these types of things happen. And I know there are people there, for that. And I also know like what she's dealing with, when you get to that position and you trying to do the right thing, you trying to, get these people to, be accountable. They always trying to find their way around, something, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that's what's been going on. We've been dealing with this. People have been stepping up to the plate and they've been like, nah, we ain't finna let this happen. And then we do what we've been doing, and it's just like, it's still a cycle. So it's like, that's why I continue to think like, okay, yeah, we have to be more focused. We have to, it does start in the household. We have to raise ourselves to be leaders. We have to raise ourselves to be able to build our community, build it, grow the food, all the things that's important to us, get our economics right. You know what I mean? Start businesses, raise our kids right to take the place of, where the leaders just left, you know what I mean? So, and it should be in there, we need to learn we need to learn the legislation. We need to learn all these things. So it's like, we got to focus on what really matters for our community and for us to move forward. And yes, again, stop supporting things that don't benefit us. And it has to be, again, it has to be focused, and it has to be, it can't be, okay, yeah, we going to make sure that the justice system, is accountable, but then we don't hold ourselves accountable for harming ourselves. You know what I mean? For eating bad and for supporting music that kills our minds and kills the other people's minds. And we can't be out here supporting, these corporations that aren't doing for our people, that aren't giving back to our people. Like I said, we have to be consistent with our boycotts. You know what I mean? We have to be consistent with everything it is that we truly need, and we have to focus on that. And we can't be going, when something happens, we start talking about something else just because these people talk. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about making sure that these people get tested, because they, that's what we want. And when they start talking about something else, no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this, and we have to continue to do that all around the board.
Let me say this. And that's called a diversion. And stay right there, brother.
I'm here. I'm listening.
They are experts at whatever our concern is, to spin it. They pay people. They go to school for it. And when you get in politics, right, no matter what color you in, they tell you to spin shit. And when you have donors and when you have contributors to your campaign, right, you might start off with us, and you might end up speaking like a politician, because you get to spinning shit and we never hear an answer to our concern. And I love that part. And we need to be focused as a community, because we're not Americans, we're in America. They call us Black Americans. You got to realize they ain't never called you American except for when it's time to vote. They have always called them Black Canadians, Black Brazilians, right? Afro-Cubans, Afro-Hispanics. And so on this tree of earth, we have always been in a category other than the whole. So don't act like when we looking for a solution that you want to weave us in. We prefer to be weaved out. But if we go stay weaved out, we got to know what type of revenue that we bring to the table, and we got to make sure that shit comes back, and we got to make sure, excuse my language, young ladies, that we do something with the resources for these babies. Who do we got sitting on your lap, brother?
This is Naima.
Naima, Princess Naima.
Numaki Wawa.
Numaki Wawa.
Yeah, do what they want.
And who's the other one?
This is Amina.
And Subu Amina and Subu. Numaki Wawa. So we got Legacy, we got Amina, and we got Naima.
Naima, Amina, Legacy. And Jaden and Noah downstairs.
Okay, Jay and Noah downstairs. We got the whole tribe. We got to protect y'all. And the cold part, and the hot part, and the best part is about this topic. Get out your own feelings, grown folks. We doing this for these babies. We doing this for our children, Yes, we lost some loved ones. We can't bring them back. But we got a whole bunch of other ones that we don't want to lose. So we're not bitter behind the ones that we lost. We cried those tears. We'll be damn sure to prevent you from taking any more from us.
That's right.
I didn't mean to take over like that, but sister, we're gonna give it to your husband, then we need you to say some words. And then we're gonna let A Plus have the last word. So we're gonna hear from the sister after and then we're gonna hear from Taiki. Hey! That's a different one, right?
No, this is the same. This is the same too.
Okay, I gotta take my glasses off. I see you. Okay, so what's your closing words, brother, so we can let the Sister Angela?
Say that one more time. Oh,
What's your closing remarks?
Oh, mine or yours?
Yours.
Oh, my closing remarks. Let me see. I got it written down. Yeah, just to stay focused. Stay focused on what really matters for our benefit. You know what I mean? For our legacy, for what we're building. We got to stay focused. We got to stay consistent. And like we were talking about earlier, the queens, their position and the king's position, like we got to know our position and, we got to keep it going. Can y'all hear me?
I hear you,
clearly.
Okay.
Take it over though. They got my attention fully.
Yeah, the queen's we got another queen position and we got to honor her. We got to respect her. We got to respect them, right? Because the next show we're going to figure out what the king's position is. We ain't going to get away. We can't escape. We got to know what our job is, too. And so we need both of you queens back to help us remember what our position is. Because sometimes we get to making up shit and y'all be saying, you ain't finna do all that.
No.
Okay, Queen Angela, can you please let us know what your closing remarks is? Because you got the babies in the room, so we can't help but feel all that energy. It's real spiritual right now.
What my closing would be, definitely just continue to just work on ourselves, definitely focus on ourselves. Trying to think what else. Allow ourselves to actually heal. I'm really big on just growth right now, on my spiritual journey. Definitely just healing through traumas, and things that we happen to experience mentally, because it's all in our, it's all what we think about constantly. But just continue to just work on ourselves, learn to nourish ourselves by eating healthy foods, listening to things, and surrounding ourselves around positive, loving people. Continue to read books, watch things that's adding value onto our life to where we can continue to plant those seeds upon people that we come in contact with, or our children, or just continue to just be the water to pour into other people's lives so they can actually flourish as well. So that's my closing.
Okay, now before we get to Taiki, because we're gonna let the goddess, the queen, the empress, the beautiful A+ close us out. We have Eric Reason in the room, and he said it's time for us to get in the driver's seat to take us to where we need to be. So no matter who runs for mayor or city council, tell them what we want instead of having somebody who that we vote in power tell us what they want. And with that, that's how we level that playing field. And if we both want the same thing, if we all want the same thing, more power to the people, more power to the people, because whoever running, they coming from the people, and you don't stop being a people because you become a councilman, a police, a fireman, a board supervisor, a teacher. Just because you got a title don't stop you from being part of the people. We don't care how much money you got, how much money you don't got, right? These babies is what count. And we're not just thinking about our own baby, we're thinking about all these babies. And so with that being said, we got Leslie Hunter in there, and we have Trish Badia. And they said, Trish Badia said separate but equal, and Leslie Hunter said that we need to prepare to do our own thing. If America is falling, if Babylon is falling, if we're going to have meteorites, earthquakes, and hailstorm and brimstone, and it's going to have tornadoes, if it's going to have tsunamis and earthquakes, why do we want to stay around for something that's so foul, something that's so corrupt, something that's so Sodom and Gomorrah? Why are we trying to stick around to watch the destruction? It says, come out of her, my people, in all the religious scriptures, right? Do not partake upon her fate, for her sin has filled the heavens, and the smell has went into the Creator's nostril. So if you ain't foul, funky, and you are the aroma of the Creator, it's time for us to prepare to get the fuck up away from these creatures. With that, I'm going to turn the mic over to the Chief Tai Chi, the Grand High Tech. When I say Grand High Tech, I'm not just talking about mechanical technology and industrial technology. I mean, that man's a technician in his mind. You don't know the books he read. You don't know his whole struggle. We're going to have a whole segment where he can tell his story, because everybody knows we love our Chief Tai Chi, the Grand High Tech, one of the coolest brothers from the foundations of creation. Come on, brother. Tell us what your closing words are.
I don't know about all that, but definitely it's been beautiful. It's been a learning experience. I've actually took some good notes tonight, and I appreciate our beautiful queens and beautiful families and my kings. And this was a beautiful night. And to think that we almost was about to cancel the show because we, at the last minute, we didn't know if we had all the content or the people that we needed. But it's a beautiful thing how when God is in something, a way is made. So I definitely believe that's what happened tonight. I want to thank everybody in the room. I see Eric Reason, Earl Brown, Ravis Stay Hightway, Kenneth Haster, Senior Tate Senior. I hope I said that right. Please forgive me if I messed that up, brother. Sandra Patton, Oki Lana, Bobby Merchant, Angel Barrientos, Kelton Taylor, Jason Hickerson, Beppy Nkuyo, Ned Hillside, Mark King, Kenny, Arnitha Warrior Griffin, Lamar Miles, Gigi Lastly, Amanda Molex, Francesca Colombian Queen, Willie George, Cody Cook Sidodo. Man, I know I'm tearing these names up. Please forgive me. Anthony Foster, Jericonda Riley, Kemio Haynes, Heru Ronetter, of course, Leslie Hunter again, Jay Robinson, Judy Prater, D'Angelo Murray, Eric Perkins, Terry Rayford, Stephen D. Wright, Kay Wu, Melvin White, Sagittarius Love, Natana Griffith. Well, we had a full room tonight, y'all. We appreciate everybody.
I want to extend an invitation to Stevie D, the comedian. I grew up with the cat. He makes us laugh. He's well loved. He's a tycoon also. Yeah, we need you to get up in here, man, and say your piece.
Most definitely. So definitely thank everybody. The story continues on our website, y'all. We do have the forum there where we can talk about what we want to talk about, not worry about any Facebook intervention or anything like that. Our forum is open at lowerafricanminds.com. please visit that. And, oh, I forgot. Sister Bonita Wilson. I didn't see you in the room today, but sister, I finally got that book for you, and I will be sending that in the mail to you. My apologies.
Which one is that?
This is Melanin, What Makes Black People Black by Dr. Layla Africa. She got some good books out too. This is a powerful book, and it was very hard to find. I went to several bookstores. It was hard to find, but I finally got it, sister, and that's going out to you. We appreciate you. We appreciate what you did in the research room over at LordAfricanMinds.com. My apologies, there's no contest this month. A lot of stuff we just got a plethora of things that we've been knocking out. I did see another glitch in the membership sign up area. I fixed that tonight. I'm just always working and trying to make this thing work for us. So definitely my apologies for any delays or any inconveniences caused by anybody. But like I said, we're doing it. We're doing our thing at LordAfricanMinds.com. And we invite everybody to go there. Go there now. If you go there now, you'll see our globe. And if you're on our site, your flag is representing where you are right now. I see Cleveland, Ohio. I see Roosevelt, Utah. Some people probably dropped off now. I know it's late night in some areas, but we still appreciate everybody showing up, connecting with us on our real estate there at LordAfricanMinds.com. Definitely find out our show schedules, connect with us and study Swahili with us and everything. Just go to the site and register, man. This is our first steps to worldwide African unity. Our mission statement, our mission is to restore and bring forth our spiritual African culture and allow it to manifest as spirituality within the African community, culturally, socially, and economically. Lord African Minds activities should always implement principles of Ma'at, Nguzo Saba, Sankofa, and other ancient Aboriginal African principles. And that being said, thank you to everybody that came out. Thank you to our panel, Mr. Lewis, then Subu, Sister A Plus. What's your actual name, sis?
I'm sorry.
We calling you A Plus. I think that might be your business, so we want to recognize your name.
That's what I go by. That's what
Okay.
I go by A Plus. I go by A Plus on my talk show and all of that. So that's
there it is. There it is. A Plus it is, y'all. We definitely hope you come back, Queen, and kick it with us and connect with us because this is what we do. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. tomorrow, I believe, Frequency Friday. Is that on?
7 p.m. 7 p.m. Frequency Friday. Queen Charm. And I want to give a shout out to Ebony, Alina. She wasn't able to be here with us tonight. We are going to let A Plus have the last word. But Taiki, could you please let them know if they want to become a member on the show? What do they need to do to become a member on the watch? Because I know a lot of people got something to say.
Just like I said, first of all, we'd like for you to become a member on our website because we got somewhat of a vetting process, and we like to know who we're talking to and who we connecting with. But you can definitely hit us up on Facebook, our Facebook page, LordAfricanMinds.com. We also have a private group in there as well. So we're easy to reach, we're easy to connect. If you go to the Lord African Minds Facebook page, I believe our contact information is there, as well as a number to reach us directly. And let's just connect. This is what we do, so we always at this. So we always here to connect with you as well. So that being said, we're gonna hear closing statements from our Queen A Plus, and we're gonna wrap it up, y'all. Numa Kiwawa.
Numa Kiwawa.
Go ahead, Queen.
Put the camera back on her, brother.
Am I on? I'm sorry. Okay, I just want to reiterate what Mr. Lewis said as far as consistency. So it's very important for us to be consistent in our fights and transparent. So if we are consistent and we are transparent in our fights, then we will go far. And accountability, we must hold each other accountable. We must be accountable for our actions as well. There's no way that we can blindly support without knowing what a person's intentions are. So when it comes down to it, we must be consistent, we must be focused, and we have to make sure that we are not criminalizing ourselves for the pain that we experience, and that's a big deal when it comes to us. You know, oftentimes we lose focus on what our fight is because we are not being consistent in what the fight is, and we are upset about so many things, and we're all over the place. But at the end of the day, if we are educating ourselves, if we are being transparent, and we are holding ourselves and our people to a higher standard, then we will go far. So consistency is definitely key. Consistency, transparency, and education. We must make sure that we are educating ourselves to be aware of our surroundings and aware of what the intentions of people are who attempt to associate with us or who attempt to pull the wool over our eyes. So as long as we are educating ourselves, and as long as we are doing the due diligence on our end to ensure that we are educating ourselves to make sure that our demands are being heard, that people are understanding that we have a clear message, we have clear demands that we want to be put in place. And it's not about showboating, it's not about popularity, it's about, you know, consistency, it's about justice, it's about equality, and it's about being able to have a chance, our children to be able to have a chance in this world. If our children don't have a chance in this world, then we're doomed. So we must prepare. We must prepare by ensuring that we are holding people accountable so that our children have a fighting chance. And I'll leave it at that.
Most
New
definitely.
Maki Wawa.
New Maki Wawa. New Maki Wawa. So until tomorrow night, like I said, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Frequency Friday. Y'all check in. Most definitely, it's on once again tomorrow night. Frequency
Queen Charm,
Friday.
Queen Charm, Queen Charm, Queen Charm.
Queen Charm will be in the building. That being said, that's all we got, y'all. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, yeah, but I wanted to say, no, I'm just playing.
Hey, we have fun up in here, y'all. It's all good.
And plus, I had added you on Facebook too.
Okay, I'll accept you.
Definitely.
Let me do that.
Angela said thank you too for letting her be a guest.
Oh, definitely. Make sure she come back.
Yeah, Angela gotta come back now. She gotta come back.
They said you gotta come back now.
Matter of fact, Angela, you are one of the queens inside Lord Dumont. Because we fell in love with your children.
Definitely. All right, y'all. I'm finna get up out of here.
New Maki Wawa, bro.
Maki Wawa. Hey, we don't got nothing going on yet.
What's that?
With Primerica.
Oh, I'll hit you on the back end.
Okay, my fault. Yes, sir. All right.